Now on CBS 46 News at 6.
The police department that didn't think this video warranted filing charges has a history of its own. Wait until you see what we've uncovered.
More testing for the coronavirus, more testing for cures, and more headaches trying to just pay the bills while the pandemic rages on. Better Call Harry can help with one of those things.
And burning rubber shutting down the downtown connector. So just what are the police going to do about it? A lot to get to tonight. Good evening, everyone. I'm Alicia Roberts.
And I'm Sean Gables. We are now learning that the U.S. Justice Department is considering whether or not to file hate crime charges against the two white males charged with killing Ahmaud Arbery, the unarmed black man gunned down while jogging in Brunswick, Georgia. And then there's this. We have just gotten a new look at the minutes before Ahmaud Arbery was gunned down while on a run. This video shows him going into a home that's under construction, coming out, and then moments later being pursued to his death. Also, getting a fresh look at this case, a new prosecutor, Cobb County's DA, has been tapped to take over. CBS 46's Adam Murphy begins our team coverage with a closer look at why she was selected.
I, Joyette Holmes.
1 year after being sworn in as Cobb County's first African-American female district attorney, Joyette Holmes has been appointed by State Attorney General Chris Carr to lead one of the biggest cases in recent history.
And it's important that we move forward with the prosecution, that the facts are determined and that justice is done.
Holmes will serve as chief prosecutor in the murder of Ahmaud Arbery. The 25-year-old was shot and killed while jogging through a Brunswick neighborhood more than 2 months ago. His accused killers, Gregory and Travis McMichael, were arrested only after video footage of the incident surfaced. One of the attorneys representing the Arbery family, Ben Crump, said, quote, "We implore District Attorney Joyette Holmes to be zealous in her search for justice as she works to hold all of those responsible for the unjustifiable execution of an unarmed young black man in broad daylight." Holmes has been both a prosecutor and defense attorney. Most recently, she served for 4 years as chief magistrate of Cobb County. She said, quote, "Our office will immediately gather all materials related to the investigation thus far and continue to seek additional information to move this case forward. We appreciate the confidence that Attorney General Carr has in our office's ability to bring to light the justice that this case deserves."
We contacted the Cobb County District Attorney's Office because of the resources that we know that that office has, the personnel that they have, the experience that they have. But Joyette herself has been a prosecutor, a defense attorney, and a judge, and she has a great reputation.
Once DA Holmes and her team have received the investigative file from the GBI, they will review the facts and then make a recommendation for charges to a grand jury for prosecution. Outside the Cobb DA's office here in Marietta, Adam Murphy, CBS 46 News.
Adam, thank you. The Arbery killing has revealed a long history of trouble at the police department at the center of the case. The CBS 46 Bulldog digging into that part of the story tonight. Chief Investigator Jonathan Carlson is here. Jonathan, tell us what you've learned.
Well, Alicia, good evening. County leaders telling me today the problems in Glynn County law enforcement go back years. The majority of the 115 or so officers on the force are good citizens, they say, but they admit it only takes a few. It took 3 district attorneys before anyone thought to call in the GBI. Finger-pointing has since ensued as passing the buck with no arrests until last week has led to a state investigation with federal support. Prosecutors, whose own actions are being probed, are pointing the finger at the small-town police department that failed to arrest the 2 now charged with murder.
Do you think the criticism of the police department is fair?
I do. And maybe even criticism of us as county commissioners. We have had more than our fair share of the bad apples.
A Bulldog investigation of the Glynn County Police Department has uncovered 5 officers, including the indicted police chief and a high-ranking lieutenant with the Criminal Investigative Division, are under state review for matters unrelated to this case. That's not counting 3 other current or former officers indicted, along with Chief John Powell, in a sex scandal involving the narcotics unit. And that's not where the troubles end. The department, along with a large number of current or former officers, continue to be named in lawsuits. The latest filed this February, one of many filed in the last few years, we found.
This is Jonathan Carlson. I'm a reporter with CBS Atlanta.
I called the chief's office today asking to speak to the interim chief.
He is not.
I was told he wasn't willing to talk about the department's problems. We also dialed the county manager. He too not willing to comment. It's falling on county commissioners to tell us what they think is going on there.
We certainly could be severely criticized for not being more effective.
He says it falls on everybody. The indicted police chief, by the way, currently suspended. I'm told by insiders within the county they expect any state and federal investigations to find dirt at all levels of government there, Sean.
That story is far from over. Thank you, Jonathan. Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms tells CBS 46 she is keeping Ahmaud Arbery's family in her prayers. And she says the video is a constant reminder of the dangers her own sons face.
It breaks my heart. This young man was murdered in cold blood. Just honestly and selfishly didn't want to watch the video because I'm mayor, but before that I'm a mother. And I have 4 children, 3 of whom are African-American boys. And each and every time I see something like this, I think about my children.
You can find FBI comments, family attorney comments, and more online and on our CBS 46 News app.
What a beautiful day. A little bit breezy, a little bit chilly, but overall it is gorgeous outside. Let's take you straight out there. This is over Midtown Atlanta. You can see the trees in the foreground shaking with those gusty winds. That's made it feel even cooler. Temperatures right now around 67 degrees. That wind sustained at 16 miles an hour, and we are seeing gusts even higher than that. The good news is we will see those winds die down tonight, but we're also going to see those temperatures go down, and it will be chilly once again. Another night in the 40s as we approach the middle of May. So yes, it is going to be chilly, but really this is the last temperature, at least the last night with those 40s before we start to see a significant warm up. For tonight, we are getting down to 47 in Atlanta. We'll see low 40s in the suburbs. So beyond that chilly night, we're also tracking dry weather. In fact, our next chance of rain doesn't even get here until the end of the weekend. And something else arriving by the end of the weekend, summer-like temperatures. Soon we'll see those temperatures in the mid to upper 80s. I'll talk about when that warmer air will get here and how warm it's going to get coming up.
Make sure you download the free CBS 46 app to get your weather alerts sent directly to your smartphone. The app is available for Apple and Android users.
Right now from the live desk today, we have learned there's a new coronavirus policy in effect right now at the White House. This is brand new video from this afternoon showing White House senior advisor Jared Kushner wearing a mask as he went into the West Wing before the coronavirus briefing. CBS News has learned it comes after a memo was issued ordering everyone who enters the West Wing to wear a mask or face covering. That change coming after 2 staffers tested positive and several members of the task force are now self-quarantining. Sean?
The number of people testing positive for the coronavirus in Georgia continues to go up, now very close to hitting 34,000. The governor has encouraged all of us to get tested. Just look. Long lines today at this pop-up testing site at the House of Hope in Atlanta. That's on Flat Shoals Parkway in Decatur. That is going on until 7 o'clock tonight, so there is just a little bit of time left. Pre-registration is required. You can find a map with testing sites on our CBS 46 News website.
Augusta University Health is working with the Georgia National Guard screening people across the state. Today, Georgia Power Foundation announced it's also donating $100,000 to help with that statewide effort. Meantime, Emory is taking part in the second phase of a drug trial that's shown promise as a potential treatment for coronavirus, the drug typically used to treat rheumatoid arthritis.
Governor Brian Kemp will update Georgians on the coronavirus tomorrow. The governor will be joined by Dr. Kathleen Toomey, Homeland Security, and the Georgia's National Guard to give an update on where we stand here in Georgia. You can catch it live on our CBS 46 streaming app, our Facebook page, and we'll have live report on our noon newscast. Well, it's an ongoing problem for so many throughout this shutdown has been getting the money they are owed from the Department of Labor. Coming up on CBS 46 News at 6, Better Call Harry gets one-man results on the spot.
This is a tragic story out of Griffin tonight after a 12-year-old boy is killed at the hands of his little brother. It happened Saturday afternoon when the 5-year-old boy found a gun in a wooded area while outside playing. Police believe that gun may have been tossed by suspects they chased earlier that same day. Officers telling us the 5-year-old thought it was a toy and squeezed the trigger.
The little one found the gun. It had to be right here, right, because they said throw it up in the bushes. Well, you see the bushes just cover this little area here. So somewhere in these bushes, he walked around and found a gun and turns around and thinks he's playing and says bang bang, and it was loaded and killed him.
Heartbreaking. Police found a bag of trash and drugs, but no gun. Tonight, those suspects who took off in a blue Honda Passport remain on the run.
A small child got a hold of a gun, and tonight a 29-year-old family member is in the hospital but listed in stable condition. The sheriff's office tells CBS46 the 4-year-old found the gun inside the home on Memory Springs Road today and then pulled the trigger. They are still investigating.
CBS 46 is everywhere tonight, including Carroll County. The search is on for whoever shot and killed an 83-year-old woman in her home Saturday night.
Yellow crime scene tape is still in front of Barbara Gibson's home as investigators look for clues. Anyone with information is asked to call the sheriff's office.
In Gwinnett County, the driver of this SUV had non-life-threatening injuries after a crash on Saturday, but the motorcyclist hit did not survive. Police say the SUV hit the motorcycle for turning onto Peachtree Industrial Boulevard. They do believe speed was a factor.
Sandy Springs police arrested this man. They say he struck and killed a man trying to help a driver whose car had stopped on 400 early yesterday morning, then took off from the scene. Kiara Stenner is charged with vehicular homicide, driving with a suspended license, and hit and run. Today is the deadline to register to vote for the primary that's coming up on June 9th. That will be a combined election for the president and the general primary. If you have not registered yet, you can still register online.
Well, could we see Stacey Abrams' name on the ballot in 2022, once again taking on Brian Kemp? At least that's the latest speculation floated by New York Magazine. She's been making the rounds on national media, speaking out against how the governor has handled the coronavirus and his decision to reopen the state.
And what a day, really what a month. It's been unusually chilly, and that remains the case for today and even tonight as we again drop to the 40s, but it will feel like summer very soon as we warm to the 80s by the end of the work week. Right now, we've got clear skies. We did have a cold front move through the area earlier today. That front now over the panhandle of Florida, and although it did not bring us any clouds or any rain, it did bring us windy conditions, but more importantly, it reinforced that cold air. So you're going to notice these temperatures will get chilly once again as we head into the evening. Right now, 67 in Atlanta, 65 in Covington, 62 in Ellijay. On top of that, we do have a gusty northwesterly wind, so it does feel fairly chilly out there. It is very, very dry. Those dew point temperatures in the 20s and 30s. And for May in Georgia, this is pretty phenomenal. This is a very low dew point. The lower the dew point, the drier the air, the more comfortable it feels. And that's going to lead to very chilly conditions this evening. That dry air also heats and cools quickly. So you see that big temperature change when you have that very low humidity. So we'll go from the upper 60s to the 40s. By 9 o'clock, it will be 57. By 11, clear and 53. And by the time you wake up tomorrow morning, 40s across the board. Could even see some upper 30s across the highest elevations of the North Georgia mountains. Keep in mind, the average low this time of year is 59 degrees. So we are going to be anywhere between 10 to 15 degrees below average for this time of year. We do start to warm up tomorrow, a little more cloud cover and a little more warmth, a little more heat. I think we're excited about that. By 1 o'clock, we'll be in the mid 60s, but by 5 o'clock, we'll be in the low 70s. So tomorrow certainly will be more comfortable than today. On top of that, the winds will be a lot more calm as well. Highs tomorrow, 60s and 70s, still below average. We should warm up to the upper 70s this time of year, but it is going to be a turning point. You're going to notice after tomorrow, we start to heat up. By Wednesday, we'll get up to 79. And then after that, we'll stay in the 80s. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, even into Monday, we'll see those 80-degree temperatures, and they will be well above average as we head towards the weekend and beyond. The temperature outlook from May 16th to the 20th. So even as we head into next week, we are expecting temperatures warmer than normal. So it will stay warm, which means I'm hoping you enjoyed those cooler temperatures while we had them. Those are gone. Something else that's gone, a lot of rain in the forecast. April was a very wet month. In fact, January, February, March, and April, We had well above amounts of rainfall, but we're going to get a nice little break here. Next chance of rain is on Sunday and Monday. Even then, it's only a 20% chance of rain. So the forecast over the next 7 days, very different than what we've seen so far this year. We got a little taste of winter almost with that freeze warning over the weekend, but now it will feel like summer, especially this weekend as those temperatures heat up big time over the next several days.